Welcome back, everybody, to the Coffee and Carving Show, episode number 80. I've got my special guest here today, one Alec Lacasse. Hi, Alec. How you doing today?
Hey, Doug. Thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you, and look forward to hearing from you today.
Anyway, we were just talking. It's funny. We got the equipment set up and we start the podcast without recording. We're just like talking about the weather and work and stuff. It's like we have a podcast to record.
Save it. No more talking.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the way it goes when we have a podcast, So
That's right. So how about that weather?
Well, it isn't just a social. What am I trying to say here? Just a social
conversation starter,
time filler. Yeah, it's really weird out. Like, I was with Sam today, and I pointed out to the smog, and I said, you can't see past the lake today because of a fire happening up in Canada, up your way. And he was like, "No way." I said, "Yeah, it's true. Look it up." And yeah, is it bad there?
I will submit that this is probably the worst that I've ever had it yet. Like, it's visible haze, smoke, and stinks. Of course, it's been so rainy and wet, the air is heavier. So that really kind of holds the smell and the stink.
Yep.
And it's the worst it's been all year.
Yeah. I'm trying to see 198 is what we have here, air quality. And I'm trying to find out, that sounds so much higher. Like, it seems as though, 151 to 200 AQI is considered unsafe and anyone could experience negative health effects. So that's not just people with asthma or health problems. That's just really bad for everyone. Yeah. So
tomorrow's going to be the same, they say. So
wow. Yeah, it says the level of concern, it goes up from unhealthy for sensitive groups at 150 to 151 to 200 as unhealthy. It's red zone.
That's you, is it? You're the sensitive group?
Honestly, yeah, I am. I've got lung problems, so thanks for bringing it up, Doug.
I was just teasing you because you're so sensitive.
Well, I'm a snowflake, a millennial snowflake.
Oh man. No, it's you know what? This I'm glad I don't have a YouTube channel just on camping.
Yeah, could you imagine trying to camp out there?
Well, who wants to go camping without campfires?
All right. Oh, you can't do that still?
Oh no, it's fire bans.
Even with the rain?
Well, who knows how much rain they got up there?
Sure.
You should look at the fire map of Canada, especially Ontario. All the fires that are going right now. It's wild.
Fire map of Canada. Let's look that up. Maybe I can show people. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's crazy looking. So all this red stuff these are fires.
Well, I can hardly see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just it looks like the half the country is red, or at least a quarter of it. So,
well, I don't know if that's that true, but there's a lot of fires.
Oh no, wait.
I don't know what map you're looking at there.
I don't know what this is. This is fires of all time. Forest fire perimeters. Okay, so these are areas that are highly suspect for forest fires. Okay, so that's not what's going on. Let's see what we've got here.
Just put active fires in Canada.
Yeah, that's the difference. Active. Did you say Canada?
Canada.
Okay. It's not really. Oh yeah, okay, so it is in Quebec. There it is. All those little red dots right over Quebec.
Yeah. That's a lot of fires.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if there's that many more than usual. They just seem a little bit more south. Right. And forest fires, we talked about this last time. Was that like a month ago now? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So nothing has really changed. Fires are everywhere. So she's a fiery summer. So.
It's true. But the weird thing is it went away for the most part. in between our last talk and today,
Yeah, it did.
right? It just
Yeah,
showed up today again.
it's just the way the wind currents go, and like I said, I believe this right now is because the air is heavier, and it's really hanging
Right.
down. Like, but
Yeah.
anyway, have you got lots of rain? Because we've had a pile of rain the
Yeah.
last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So,
Which has been good because it's been so dry.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
We'll be cutting grass this week. My goodness. But
Yeah. That's the downside of it, really. But at least the garden's
but
not in need of tons of water. But do we have an
but
announcement for that?
enough of.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what you've been up to this week.
We want to get to that first, all right? We'll hold them in suspense.
Of course.
As long as we can. And the very
You
last
can't.
moment. Okay, so for one thing, I was walking by this today and I wanted to show this. This isn't what I've been up to this week, but I'm trying to weather these carvings, leave them
Oh
outside,
yeah.
and it's starting to get there. It's starting to gray out a little bit, just to show people what it looks like before and after. How it's starting to
How
gray.
long has that been outside?
About 2 months,
Yeah,
a
so
month and a half.
mine's a little protected, so I don't get mine's not nearly that gray yet.
Yeah, you threw one out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we talked about this last time. I have one screwed to my fence to
Oh
weather.
yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
but I
Yep.
think it's a little
So
protected, so.
yeah, I try to keep it in the maximum sun like where the sun hits the hardest in the backyard.
Mhm.
So, and then I'm watering it. So every time I
Yeah.
walk by it and I think of it, I'm hosing it or I'm pouring a glass of water over it, and I think that speeds it up a little too. So,
Here's a random thing. I'm watering myself today.
oh,
I came downstairs this morning and worked a little bit at my desk here. And then I went upstairs and then I came back down again and the whole floor was soaking wet. And I'm like, what is going on here? And my refrigerator above me uh, got a clog. You know, it's got a drain and there's the evaporator plate in the bottom that evaporates the water. But that
right.
drain tube got jammed or plugged with something. And the water must have built up until it just let go. And it's like half a pail of water come dumping down from the ceiling.
That's
So,
rough.
that's not good.
No.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to rush around to go to work, and then I'm sitting there pulling my refrigerator apart and unclogging it.
That's the worst. It's the worst feeling when something in your house that has to work starts failing, and you're already in over your head with work and life. It's the worst. Yeah. But otherwise, what I've been up to is just I've been back to the daily carbs, and I have been. You know who it was? I was listening to Noah Khan, a singer songwriter who I've been really digging. My wife and Annalise and I have been really digging a lot lately, and he talked about how his latest album was totally inspired by a daily songwriting practice that he had for 2 years. And I was wondering, so this question was in my head already about Noah Khan because I had heard of him. Friends that I knew were into him and liked his stuff. I never really liked it. I wondered why his old stuff was so much different, why his new stuff was so markedly better in terms of the way the songs are written and the way that the songs are performed. It just better all the way around, so much better. And he said that he would do these pop gigs, put out this pop music with with these people that his label connected him with, and to make these big banger songs, hit songs. And he'd put them out and they'd do okay. But he'd go home and he'd write a song to kind of cleanse himself of that, just like a folk song on his guitar, because he enjoyed it. He did that every single day. And those songs were the songs, granted, whatever, 15 of those songs were the songs that ended up being his most popular, most successful record, which are, folk songs. So that just made me think, while I'm over here trying to make the best art I possibly can, sometimes the stuff that I like the most are the daily warm-up carves.
Yep.
So
That's right.
that's not a daily warm-up carve, but I wish I wish that was it. But anyway, so I'm back to that. That's the long version of that, and I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to get one carving done aside from whatever other project I've got going, but um, and that's been cool. So the trouble is, I never ever finish. I rarely finish them. Like I'm happy with it. Maybe I'll get faster at it, but so I have like a bunch of like 70% or 80% finished carvings sitting in the shop here now, all over the place, just begging to be finished.
And they won't get finished till the day before a show, right?
Yeah, well, that's been my usual thing, right? Is like,
Yeah,
okay, it's the week before the show. Now I'm
yeah.
just gonna only be finishing carvings. But I'm thinking, man, maybe I should just, you and I were talking about it a couple days ago. Maybe I should just like take the next day and use that warm up session to finish it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I did today. I finished yesterday's warm up carving. Well, I didn't even see. Look, I didn't even finish it. So this is yesterday's warm up carving that I just tried to really button down or get the face kind of dialed in. But then I still have to do the hair and flowers and stuff. So
show me that carving behind you, because
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
thank you. Oh, so he's a oak leaf green man.
That's crazy.
Thanks.
What is to talk us through your setup of that and how you go about that? Because that's very different than a slap together green man. Like that's very intentional, very detailed with the leaves and acorns.
It's a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing as the usual, but you're just going a little further with the lobes and the details. Like oak leaves, truth be told, I don't like carving oak leaves because each leaf is like carving an entire. Sorry, each lobe is like carving an entire leaf individually. It's just so time consuming. So, but really, all you're doing is I'm creating a layer. I start with a layer, a plane, and then I reduce the material beneath that. So, for instance, like here, I started with these leaves. Actually, I started up here, and then I created a layer beneath that, and then I stopped here, and then I created another layer beneath that, and then I made a spot for the face, and then I made a spot for the leaves again, a flat plane, and then I came beneath that, and I just built the layers. So they're all kind of stacked on top of each other. It's kind of descending.
Yep. Now, do you have a stencil for your leaves, or you just freehand them all?
Well, I freehanded these ones. I probably should have paid a little bit more attention to the shape because some of these have really, really big base lobes, and some of them are kind of small and narrow at the end, like here. So I just freehanded them. So,
but that's nature too, though, right?
yeah. I do. I've done hundreds and hundreds of oak leaves because I've done chainsaw carvings, and people always want oak leaves. I don't know what that. People love oak trees, so
they want their money's worth.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what's the hardest leaf we can get them to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, just carving and what else? Yeah. I played some music for the first time a couple of days ago, and that was kind of fun. And
well, a little more detail, yeah.
Yeah, at a gig, I played the Lavender Festival in Imlay City, Michigan, and there weren't a ton of people there, which was good. My worst fear was that I show up and there's like a stage and like, which has happened. I've had it happen before where I go into this girl asked me if I would play at this coffee shop, and so I said yeah. So we just practiced once, and then went to this coffee shop, and we got to the coffee shop. Cute little, 20 by 30 little space, perfect. Where do we set up? And they said, oh no, it's through here. So we go through this hallway, and then it opens up into a mini auditorium. And they said, this is where the show is. So we're opening for some musical thing. Just like, God help me. I'm literally wearing a t-shirt with a stain in it, a lot like this one, not even as nice as this.
Well, you're a better man than I am, that's for sure.
No, I just fumbled my way through that. I was literally nervous uh, beyond belief. I had a hard time with that. But this one was so low key, just outside. Just my wife and my neighbors, Seth and Alyssa, came, and maybe a few people would sit and watch, and then people just walking by eating lavender flavored cheesecake and ice cream and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a thing, eh? Lavender. I've seen lavender ice cream.
have you had it?
There's a lavender shop on our way up north, and it closed down or it moved. It was like a
Hmm.
little country shop on the highway in the middle of nowhere, and we used to stop in there because Sophie used to get all her little lotions and potions and stuff. But yeah, they had I didn't get any.
Right.
I don't. I couldn't see the benefit of of trying
Yeah.
it. Some overpriced lavender ice cream.
Yes.
To say that
Yeah.
I had lavender ice cream, it wasn't really worth it.
Yeah. Well, shout out to them. They were really nice. Some guy at a booth next to me brought a piece of lavender cheesecake, and that was really, it tasted like cheesecake, but with some lavender
It's just
lavender in it.
just an
I know.
aftertaste of lavender.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like what's weird about lavender is it tastes exactly like it smells.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So I had a lavender lemonade that they brought, and that tasted exactly like a lemonade, but with lavender flavor. I don't know how else to describe
You know what that it reminds me of? My socks.
it.
And I'll tell
Wha-
you I'll tell you
Are
the
you eating
story.
your socks?
No, I'm not eating my
Oh.
socks. But when I was a boy, my mother always had rows of lavender, and then she'd
Mhm.
take a little bit of pantyhose and put lavender in a pantyhose and tie it up and
Oh,
throw it in your drawers with your clothes and stuff in the
good
closets.
idea.
And
I should do that.
that smell, I don't think I want to eat it. It's kind of the same. You say it tastes like it smells.
Hmm.
That's how I felt as a boy with the I was in the sheep club, the 4-H sheep club, and the oil from the lamb's wool is exactly how the taste is of the lamb.
Wow.
And I didn't really care for the meat too much. I eat it now more than I
Yeah.
used to, but I
Right.
couldn't get past that. Like this is what my hands smell like every day, and
Wow.
I'm eating it. Yeah, so
Oof. Yeah, that's kind of, you did it for me. I'm done with lamb. What about you, man? What have you been up to?
hard to remember where we left off last time, but we did do. I did a video of little guys, little
Hmm.
men. I don't know if I showed these. I think I was in between deciding, but I went and did all these little 2-inch little men.
Uh-huh. Oh,
The,
more towards the
got
center. I can't see. Oh, there we go. There they are.
all my
Oh,
little friends.
I
But that
love the
was
guy with the orange tie. Those are
yeah,
awesome.
that's a week ago that the video went out. But
Hmm.
since then, I've been prepping for my next video, and I have. Do you remember I did dowels?
Yes.
So
You did a cardinal, you did, what else did you
yeah,
do?
I think I had 8 or 9 of the dowel videos. Well,
Yep.
now that I've switched to the 1 by 1 carvings,
Hmm.
I asked the people, and they all resoundingly said yes, please do those dowel carvings again in the 1 by 1.
Really?
Yeah, so we're starting with the owls. So I have a whole whack of these little owls.
I love those. Oh,
Okay,
these eyes are different. I like that.
I
Just
have
as simpler.
okay. I should try and show. Well, I won't show you. I have 22 owls here.
Please show us.
So the first 5 all have different eyes. So we have like one uh,
It's
ringed
cute.
eye.
I love that. Yeah.
I did this one. I hate this one, but I was just
Uh,
practicing. I don't
right.
like the little starry looking eyes.
Sure.
That's walnut. I'll never do that again.
Really? How was
Yeah,
that? To
it was
whittle.
so hard,
Yeah.
so hard.
Right.
This one's got a big one, a little one.
I like that.
Now this is what I kind of settled on is the double
Hmm.
eye.
Mm-hmm.
But I got all creative. I did some taller ones. I did some
I
bricks,
love that. The chimney owl. That's perfect.
chimneys, and a little bit of color, different colors and stuff. But look at this one here. I got a little artsy fartsy on this one. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's different.
Whoa.
See
Wait,
that?
wait a second. What am I looking at on that
You're
side
looking
there?
at, so ideally I'll carve a little man with a chisel who's carving an owl out of a stone,
Oh, wow.
right?
Yeah, that is
That
cool.
that's the idea.
Yeah, I
I don't
like
know.
that.
I don't know if I accomplished the idea or not, but
Well, with
I
the
was just,
context, that'll absolutely make sense because it looks like a roughed in shape. Yep,
yeah.
that's
So I was
cool.
just farting around, but I have.
On the other side of the owl, it looks like that.
But then I started doing these owls and saying, I just like the. Now that I got the eyes figured out, I just like the oiled look with just the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
these are all just the oiled ones. So yeah,
Jeez.
but I've been playing with different kinds of woods. Like I set them out here. Aspen. I love aspen. Trembling
Right?
aspen. That is this one.
Huh.
Butternut. I've
Uh-huh.
been playing with the butternut. Uh, pine. I've got
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of the pine ones. When you oil them, the grain really pops out on the pine. You can
Wow.
see the lines. That's
Mm-hmm.
the pine, right? So it kind of adds to the carving when the grain shows so much,
Mm. I
right?
like that.
And then the basswood. So basswood, pine, aspen, and butternut are all fun, easy whittling. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I got into the walnut, and I did a stick of poplar too, the poplar, but they're so hard, and our
Mm.
blades are so fine. When I keep them so razor sharp, it's
Mm.
just cringing when I'm cutting that stuff. They need a heavier duty knife and
Mm.
more time, and they're not worth it.
Right.
So, like, that thing is just like a rock.
Yeah. I don't miss I don't miss carving walnut. I miss the look of it. Like that bird looks cool. But
Green walnut's not bad, but this is an old chunk I've had for
yeah.
years down here. So it's just
Yeah.
it's like doing the old. I did one guy in maple one time, little guy in maple.
Mm.
Same thing, just hard as a rock.
Really?
In the video, I said one time, I said when you feel inclined to carve a piece of hardwood, take that piece of hardwood and whack yourself in the head 3 times until you forget about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I did a video on YouTube of me carving or finishing a stick. No, I did the whole thing. I'm getting confused with another video, but I did a whole like hiking stick with a face on it. And somebody watched it and they said, "Why didn't you pull out your mallet?" Because it was some crazy hardwood,
yeah,
and it was the worst experience I've had making a video in years. I mean, so yeah, I would have been better off power carving it, but
no, I
yeah,
understand. But to be honest though, I just kind of fell in love with these little whittles again,
Hmm.
and like I'm doing like 4 of them a day,
Wow,
just in my spare time.
that's
Like they're
cool.
so fun and easy. I feel like before I do the tutorial for this one, I feel like I should just now, like, because I have so many behind under my belt, I feel like I should just silently just make a video and see if I can make one in like 8 minutes or something, just focused and just
Right.
chopped it. But
I bet you.
we'll
I mean,
see.
I bet you easily could.
Well, it'd be close. I'd be moving if I did, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
yeah,
That's cool. I love the idea of getting a design down so pat. I almost can't even relate. Well, I can. I can relate to that because I've done so many wood spirits. That I have a general idea of what needs to happen to knock a wood spirit in a piece of wood.
yeah. Well, that's what I tried to make. I tried to explain this differently, and I'll if I try again, I'll never do it well enough. But
Mm-hmm.
like these basically are the exact same owl,
Which
and
ones? Let
so
me see.
all of these oiled ones, they're all the same.
Oh,
They're all the
okay.
same. They're all the same.
Right. Variation.
There's no variation
Right.
whatsoever. I mean, with there's a hair too, but And the idea is, I feel like I want to say anyone can whittle.
Yep.
If you follow the steps, you can't stray. Like it's
Right.
just like math. It's just like I give you like 3 measurements. I show you the cuts. You can't. I mean, your knife skills will improve if you're a beginner. But I'm saying you can whittle. You can
Right.
have this. There's no reason you can't have that result
Right.
because there's no artistic. The hard part is coming up with the design,
Yep.
and then
See,
from
okay.
there.
Hey, now we're hitting on something, which was a point of conflict for us for over a year. That's a good point. This is what I'm learning too, is that the design that you made, that's the art part. That's the creative part. The replication of that is a separate thing from the art part of that, right? How do you feel about that? That's what you just
I
said, basically.
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, but to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't just come up with the design.
Yeah.
Like I have a garbage can with about 10 to get there. I don't have that. I
Yep.
don't see it like that. I have to keep trying until I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm finally get one that I'm happy with, then I can recreate it. But to get to that
Right.
one I'm happy with, that took a lot of tries.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, this owl design, there's no owl. This is a Heinz 57 owl. There's no, it's just whatever you want. So there's no, you're not copying anything. But I have a very popular owl that's a 3-inch owl, like that people were sick of seeing all over the internet a couple years ago. So I had that owl already in my head, and then I simplified it for the dowels, and so now I'm just doing it on the 1x1. So it's this round was a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah, that's always good when you can take a design and refine it a little bit, make it better,
yeah,
simpler.
no. So now I'm happy, and this is simple, and there's no. In fact, I put less detail into these than I did before. And when I was oiling, even to the point of not even really separating the feet are just kind of there, but there's no edges for paint lines and stuff. It's just the less cuts, the easier. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, no, it was a fun experiment.
Yeah,
But
that's cool.
so anyway, that I will be making a tutorial at some point about that, but it's summer.
Oh, that's right. You haven't made the tutorial yet for that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but I'll have lots of examples for the video.
Yes. That's going to be the most epic thumbnail picture.
These, okay, this is the end of it. But these are what I did today. So there's no eyes painted in yet, and they're not oiled. But that's an aspen. That one's aspen. See the white, the color, how it's white.
Wow, it is very white.
It cuts so nice.
Does it?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, yeah, birch is in the aspen family, and I've been liking that. It's funny. I carved on maybe 4 or 5 birch logs in the last few weeks, and spent so much time with this one that I honestly prefer it now to the bark. The bark really it's not that it ticks me off, it's that it's so different. The structure is so different, you know?
Yeah. Well, have you carved aspen before?
I don't know.
I bet you if you carved the aspen, especially green, you would love it.
Really?
It's like carving a potato.
I gotta get me some aspen.
Go. I can't wait for the summer going up north again to raid some beaver dams again.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Do you remember how I was how easy and clean that those beaver sticks were to cut?
Oh,
I'm sure that was all aspen.
Watching you carve into that, it was like almost unbelievable how it just
yeah, like I said, like a potato. Yeah.
And you had no idea what that was going to turn out to be, right?
I had
as far
no
as
clue.
wood, right?
No, I just knew it was a beaver chewed stick.
Well, I guess
So
it makes sense. Tell me, is this that thing of beaver's not going to try and chop an oak tree down with his
no,
teeth,
they're
right?
not. No, they're definitely not. You're either going to have birch or poplar,
Mhm.
aspens, maybe some willows,
Okay.
something, anything that you can chew on.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So
Makes sense. I had never thought of that before until just today, or maybe you had mentioned it then, and I'm remembering it. But
I can show you one other thing here too,
yeah.
because I went on a little drive on the weekend to Chipping Away, and I'm loving their basswood at Chipping Away.
Really?
So I talked to them, and I also talked to PJ Peary at Treeline USA.
Mm.
So Treeline USA and Chipping Away are both going to start carrying more 1x1s
Hmm.
for the people to buy sticks of 1x1 if you don't have a saw to cut your 1x1s. And then I was saying, well, you still got to cut the size, right? So I went into Lee Valley and I saw this little miter box. Because the problem with cutting, anybody can cut a little 2-inch piece off, but you want it square enough that it's going to stand straight,
That's tougher than it sounds, too.
right? So you need, but Lee Valley had this little aluminum miter box where you just use a little saw and
What?
cut it. Hey, do you know what a miter
What?
box is?
No, isn't that just like a compound? Uh,
No. Handheld,
what's?
all hand saw. It's the
Oh,
old,
just a guide?
just a guide. Yeah.
Okay.
So most of them would have like a 45-degree angle each way and then a straight cut. And you'd use like a back saw,
Okay. Oh, okay.
but they had a little mini version at Lee Valley, and I thought, oh, that's pretty slick. So I went to
Hmm.
Lee Valley. I thought to check them out, and it only goes up to 7/8 height. So I got the
Oh.
1 inch, so it was too big. So I immediately came home and I made this
Oh,
little.
nice. Perfect. Yep.
So if you're traveling or whatever, and then I just have my little saw here,
Look at that.
and then I could just cut them.
That's perfect. Yep.
Right,
Yep.
and then it keeps it straight and
Hmm.
makes nice clean cuts that are square.
Yep. Which the bandsaw, I often have trouble getting it to be square. You know, those edges. The bandsaw's hard. Not the best at that.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, nobody has a bandsaw. This is what I'm finding. So if you want to simplify your
True.
life, so you're in an apartment, you don't have a bandsaw, but now you can buy a 1x1. And if you have a simple little, this is your whole toolkit,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So you
Perfect.
can cut all your little men and still at a tiny little table or desk. So,
Right. Throw a
yep.
knife on that and you're golden.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm coughing like crazy.
It's this air
Smoke.
quality. Yeah. I woke up
So-
last night. I don't know if it's because of this, but I just put it together an hour or two ago that when I woke up in the middle of the night, I was, just felt, particularly like congested and asthmatic. And I don't know if it was that, but it was an
Well,
unusual
my
thing.
dad's on oxygen. So he said, do not
No.
go outside.
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, that's about all I've really been up to. I haven't really
Yeah.
been doing much big carving at all,
Right.
but yeah.
That's great though. It's a lot. You're turning out a lot of stuff. That's got to be satisfying too.
It is. It's busy hands. Busy hands.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I find we talked about this to nauseum, but I find not being on Instagram, not being on the internet, I've really put the internet aside and I just use it for my YouTube videos, and I'll watch some other YouTube videos. But honestly, that's really my only social network is YouTube.
Right.
And what a difference.
Hmm.
You could just mindlessly scroll Instagram reels or whatever, or you can make a whole owl in less time. And once you start, you can't stop.
Yeah.
you just, as soon as you make those first two cuts, all of a sudden you're engaged and you're locked in, and you don't think of anything else until you say done.
Yep.
So
It's funny. I think I've noticed that in the last week with picking back up the warm up carves, trying to make them quicker. You know, I mean, not nowhere near as quick as those, but making them quicker, not 7 hours or 8 hours,
yeah,
and doing them at a reasonable time of morning makes it so that I want to do that. It's like the highlight of my day to knock something out and to feel like I accomplished something. I accomplished something. And I think one of the reasons that it didn't work out last time is I was waking up as a part of this whole experiment I was doing on YouTube. I was waking up at 6 a.m. coming out here. First thing I do is make that carving in the morning. And so I think I was just associating, and going to bed late, I was just associating that with doing the warm-up carvings, and I was not having any fun. So
are you filming them all?
Yeah, for the most part, yep.
Because I find too, if you film everything you do, that it's not fun.
It takes, well, the thing is, I'm not teaching it, so that makes it better.
That's true. Yeah, fair point.
Yep, which I agree. Even this Green Man took me, I think 3 separate days, not 3 solid days. I was doing other projects, but 3 separate days of carving on this to get this thing done.
Yeah.
At least, maybe it was more.
That's a beautiful big chunk of bark too.
I know. I felt this, it almost hurts me to use bark like this because it's hard for me to get anymore. So, I mean, it's just thick piece of bark.
Are we having a bark shortage?
I don't know. I just haven't gone out there in a while.
Well, I haven't. All the suppliers haven't had any forever.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on, but
I don't know. I hope that's not the case because I want to go back out there sometime for sure. Definitely. So
you still have a whole mountain stockpile?
No, I do have a ton, but it's all really small. I'll grab a piece. I'll show you it's a lot like this. Smaller stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Thinner, kind of obtuse looking stuff. So, I mean, it's nothing like this. This is stuff that I actually bought recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice chunk. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought it from a friend, so. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, here's another piece. This is one that I don't even want to use because I'm excited about it. You have some giant honking pieces too, don't you?
Most of mine, I have lots of pieces, but they're tall and skinny. I don't have anything with that width and the thickness. Look how deep that is.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't tell if that's your baby hands or it's a big piece of.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. So.
Yeah. But yeah. So, well, I guess our topic today.
Yeah, what is our topic today?
What is our topic today? I wonder what that could be.
Well, the topic is taking a break to come back better.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to step away to come back. And for you, the podcast is time for the summer break.
Right. Which we haven't talked about, but yeah. So,
but
typically with the Coffee and Carving Show, historically we've taken a break between July and August, just to not have to worry about it. People aren't watching it anyway. I mean, the views, as you can see, the last 2 episodes since summer started are dismal. I mean, people aren't watching it. So, and then we have other things to do. So, that's the season ends and we pick back up, and I pick back up in September. And so, yeah, go ahead.
No, just along the lines of taking a break and coming back better. So as Alec takes his break for the summer on the podcast, in September, when he comes back, it's going to be better because I'm back.
That's right. It started because I was talking, it's a lot like how this podcast started to begin with, because I had my own podcast and I had you on, I think 2 or 3 times in the span of couple of months or something, and you were like, man, at this rate, we might as well just start a podcast because
Yep.
you've had me on more than anyone else, more than you've had other people. And so I was like, wait, we should do that. And so that was basically how it happened. I was like, man, I really enjoyed the last one that we did. We should do another one. And you're like, at this rate, I was like, well, yeah, I've been hinting at it. And it's like, so yeah,
Yes, your subtle hints did not go unnoticed, but
right,
to be fair, it was good for me to get away. For real,
right.
like life has been crazy. It's
Right.
and who knows when it's going to be normal anyway. But it's
True.
manageable again, and I missed it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
and but everyone for sure they missed you. So,
well, some may have. There's a couple at least, but yeah. So that's the plan. Lord willing, if we make it through the summer, that we'll come back.
If we don't get smogged out by then.
Episode 81 will be like episode 1 again. Yeah.
Except we'll be talking about something other than firewood, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Eating with firewood.
But here's a thought too, though. This is episode number 80.
Unbelievable.
Like, so it just started as a whim, and then 80 weeks of shows later. That's the most. That's a good commitment. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's been good. I listened to the Making It podcast weekly, and that's with Jimmy Dresta and Bob Plaggett and the other fellow that I never remember. Yep.
Yeah.
But they're like 8 years into their podcast.
Wow.
And it's just the same. It's the same thing. Just three buddies talking.
Yeah.
And they've made it work, and they have no intention to stop. So I think they're pushing episode 400 or something. So,
jeez, Pete.
Yeah.
And they do it once a week.
Once a week, yeah. They started off doing it once a month, and then they went to once a week. Yeah.
Right.
So, because it is true though, the weekly is the way to go. Even if you don't always have great content, people just start getting in the habit. And once a month, nobody keeps track of the first Friday of the month a podcast. No, you only keep track of your week. So Friday's the Making It podcast for me. So that works. And Friday's the Coffee and Carving show.
That's it. Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, did we talk about wood finishes on our last podcast?
Yes.
I think I just called you. We did. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, did I bring up the new finish that I bought?
Yes.
I can't remember. Okay, I did.
Yep.
All right.
For sure.
All right.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was because I talked to you about the 100%, because I talked about the Clapman's polish too.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then you were saying, which is interesting, one thing that you mentioned I never got to get to. You were saying this shoe polish that you picked up, or shoe cream that I recommended to you. Actually, someone had recommended to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't like it because when you had to apply it, it was thick.
Yep.
And it was hard to work into the crevices, right? Nothing like mine. I have mine up in the storage bins. Mine is it's like in between water and Jello. I mean, it's really smooth.
Yep.
Really easy to apply.
Like that.
It's so weird.
This was never like that. This had to be forcefully applied.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up with the heat gun just to get it to kind of melt again and brushing it in. So it was horrible. Horrible experience. In fact,
I don't like that.
Right now, it's gone.
Well, the problem is with the wax. The problem is with the shoe wax to begin with is it doesn't protect the wood. It doesn't strengthen the wood, And when you're carving on bark, you want to add the extra oomph of the finish, and it adds rigidity to the wood, right? So
I don't think that's my philosophy. I just want it sealed to keep because there's no way that this little beeswax is doing much to strengthen the wood.
No, that's what I'm saying. The beeswax doesn't have the added benefit. The primary benefit, yes, to
Oh,
protect
sorry.
the
I
wood.
got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I was just thinking, and the only reason I bring that up is I made this sunflower for my wife, and I was putting a clear coat on it because it's been sitting in our house, and it's slowly getting darker and darker, and I
Yep.
wanted to prevent that. And so I was just fixing it up because it kept falling over. And I noticed
Yep.
after the finish coat, it's like this feels more stout, you know, the
Yeah.
finish from the poly, soaks in there.
Because because it's a proper finish, right?
Right,
And
right.
that being a very detailed, uh,
Yeah.
what do you call them? The
Oh,
little
rays. They're called rays.
are they called rays?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that funny?
Oh, here's a
Yep.
word. What do you call this?
Oh, a bunch of owls? A stand? No.
No, no.
A troop? No. I don't know.
This is called a parliament of owls.
Are you serious? A parliament?
A parliament
Why
of
are they?
owls. Now, I don't know if this means anything, but I've totally lost your picture, eh?
Yeah, it shouldn't mean anything for the
Okay.
recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind as long as it's recording.
Yeah,
But
no one does. No one does. But sadly they have to see they can still excuse me, they
yeah,
can still see me. So
yes, a parliament of owls.
a parliament of owls. That's a new one for me. It's like
Yeah, I knew it. I heard it
parliament.
before. Of course, you never remember stuff like that. But I googled, or I was looking, or didn't Google, but I was researching a cool title for a video, and I said,
Yeah.
"What's a group of owls called again?" And it's like a parliament. I was like, "Oh yeah,
Huh.
parliament."
Parliament. That's almost too
So,
weird though to put in a title. People wouldn't know
well,
what
that's
that.
what our government is, the parliament, right?
Right. Right.
And the parliament buildings, and is that because they don't give a hoot?
Oh. Hey, you got the old
Hey.
joke in.
So
Where's the laugh track when we need it?
before we let this go though, the podcast, remember, has a email, coffee and
Yes.
carving show at gmail.com, and we want to hear from you guys when we come back in the fall. What is the perfect podcast for you? Do we bring back the mailbag? Do we bring back, well, we don't have to bring back dad jokes, but I mean, what is there something missing that
Mm.
whether that be from your other favorite podcast or something different that we can incorporate? But yeah, we're open to your suggestions.
So long as we keep our clothes on, I'm open to a lot of different things. And carving
That
related would be best.
that was
Would be
never on the
best.
table.
Yeah. Well, who knows what they're thinking?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
So,
want to. I don't want to presume, but they're all thinking it.
no,
No.
I better not say it. Okay, I stop. No,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna.
They. I'm trying. Be the more mature one today.
That's right. That's a change.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's a great idea. Opening it up to them, and in all fairness, I really didn't even ask what folks wanted in terms of dropping the mailbag. I just found that I didn't bring it up, and so people didn't. They didn't send in questions. So that might be
Yeah.
something that people want. I don't know.
We don't
But-
have to do it every week either. That's what I'm saying. We can we'll mix it up, play it by ear, but just let us know if that's something you want back again.
Can I
Because
introduce an idea?
publicly, sure.
Well, this is more for them. If
Oh,
there
okay.
are if you listen to some podcast, I'm trying to remember the name of it, Armchair Expert. They talk about
Dak Shepard,
yeah, they'll introduce a topic and they'll be like, all right, this is what we're going to be talking about in the next episode. We want to hear your best airplane poop, stories or diarrhea stories or whatever, things along of these nature. Doesn't have obviously wouldn't be that, but it'd be, submit your best wood carving fail story, just to report those, something like that.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could do something along those lines, even just send us your thoughts. We'd love to hear it.
Yep. And we'll mull it over the summer, and In fact, we'll probably get together at some point over the summer, and we'll probably make a video anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah, a
yeah.
little reunion video.
So
Very good. Well, this last 10
well,
minutes would have been mailbag if we had had mail.
there you go. But no, everybody, enjoy your summer. Take some time for yourself, and don't worry about it. Anybody but yourself. Rest
Yeah.
and relax, and rebuild some steam for the fall, because we got to do it all over again in the fall. A whole another year.
A
So
whole nother year
this is
coming at you.
this is playtime, unless half your country's on fire and you have to sit at home and not have campfires. But
Yeah. Well, if you're in Quebec, then it seems like half of the whole area
yeah,
is on fire.
yeah.
So
But by the way, folks, before you write in or say anything, we're in no threat of fires. We're just getting
right.
the smoke. Like, I can still have a campfire where I live, because there's no possible way we can have a forest fire here. This is
Mhm.
I live in hardwood forest land, and
Mhm.
yeah, we're totally safe here. We're just getting smoked out from the north.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I get that comment once in a while. I hope you're okay. Well, no,
Oh, right.
I'm surrounded by cornfields. I'm okay. So
True. Yeah.
when you say
Right.
Canada, people picture what I show in canoe trips, but that's not
Mhm.
where I live. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Fair enough. Well,
So
very good, Doug. Thanks for hanging with us today. Wait, I'm the one being interviewed. You say
that's right.
that to
That's
me,
right.
I think.
Yeah.
Wait, we'll try it
Appreciate
again.
your
Take
time
two.
today, Alec. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, and appreciate your taking the time out of your busy schedule of cartoons and pajamas. And I look.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Doug. I appreciate it
Yeah.
as always. I'm a big fan of the show,
Mhm.
and I hope you have me again. I appreciate it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. All right. So enjoy your
All
summer.
right. All righty.
All right.
Talk to you. Take your vitamins.